Hello. Can everyone online hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Hi
can
to
hear you
everyone in
now.
person as well. Thank you to everyone in person and online. I'm so sorry this is a little interesting. Hybrid's always interesting to do. Yeah, so welcome to Lunch Without Lunch. We're very excited to be in person at InceptionU, and it's Margo cheering. So we're going to start with a land acknowledgement. Is there anyone here that wants to share a land acknowledgement, or anyone online that would like to share land acknowledgement? Okay, cool. We're going to go to our video. Let me figure out how to play. I thought so.
Playing for us, we just don't have sound.
Sorry, everyone. We're just gonna share the audio. If you're new to Rainforest, please share on the screen, share a emoji, a reaction, introduce yourself in the chat. I'd like to get to know new faces. If you're new in the room, please raise a hand if you've never been to Lunch the Lunch. Oh, we have 2 new people. Yay, welcome. That's okay. We can go to the next
Growing
slide.
up, my grandma always told me that the land took care of us, and it still is taking care of us, and it never asked for anything back.
Life to always honor the environment. It's not something that you just can turn on and off. It's a living daily lifestyle.
And land acknowledgement is a way to acknowledge that we're coexisting in this land with the native people, and we should acknowledge that this is actually their traditional territory. But at the same time, we are all guests to this land.
The land plays a big factor in who we are. That's what makes us strong. That's what makes us strong people.
So that video is from the Calgary International Film Festival and from the Rosa Foundation. It's a great video on a land acknowledgement. And as always, we always encourage anyone that would like to share land acknowledgement at the beginning of Lunch Without Lunch. And if you're coming from somewhere else in the country, the province, please feel free to share your own land acknowledgement in the chat. Next, I can do that. Next slide. I don't know if this video will work. I promise this is the last video, but let's give it a try.
Idea, or for a seed to sprout. At Rainforest Alberta, we know the answer is rooted in trust. Traditionally, Albertans have cultivated their ideas in established systems. Inputs that don't fit these systems are weeded out. Opportunities for growth are missed. But now, Albertans want a dynamic landscape that can evolve organically, like a rainforest. At Rainforest Alberta, we believe a culture of trust is the fertile soil where ideas grow. Our budding innovation ecosystem is a network of relationships pulling each other up as they push forward in their own field. Trust breaks down barriers. An open, inclusive network increases collaborative innovation. Successful breakthroughs inspire new ideas. A cycle begins. Rainforest Alberta is a movement to amplify trust by cultivating honesty, inclusion, and accountability. How? Our social contract holds us accountable to demonstrate trust across the province. We meet to have honest conversations around collaboration. This leads to more inclusive spaces for everyone to fearlessly build new ideas together. By raising the standard of trust, Alberta's ideas, talent, and resources can be evergreen. Visit rainforestab.ca to sign the social contract and start growing together.
Okay, so we use 6 pillars to guide our conversations and actions. Not all are weighted equally. Like any ecosystem, the right balance is crucial. So the highest weighted pillar is culture, which is 30%, and 20% for leaders. And these are the ones that we measure the most at Rainforest and in the Rainforest culture. And we also measure resources, engaged activities, policy and infrastructure, and role model. So we just had a scorecard assessment that just closed where we asked everyone to share their perspective and lived experiences in the ecosystem in YYC. Those results will be coming out very soon in February. We should have that out to everyone. Okay, and we have a social contract, and these are 10 values that we live, work, and play by. They exemplify how we live, and they guide our actions and our mission and our vision. So this week is trust. I will give trust to others before expecting to receive trust in return. If you scan that barcode, you can sign the social contract and join the community. And we are working right now. We have done some work with Inclusity to rewrite our social contract to just make sure it's more inclusive and the language is a little bit more inclusive. And if you haven't already, we would love for you to join us on Inkly. So Inkly is an awesome platform. It connects everyone across Alberta and Calgary. If you're looking for a question that you want answers to that you can't find, this matches you with people that can answer your questions right now. It's a really, really awesome app and platform that you can get connections to. So please scan that barcode and we can get you connected to that. If you have any questions or any trouble accessing it, please feel free to reach out to me. Awesome. Okay, so I realized to introduce myself at the beginning. I'm Amber Rowden. I'm the community storyteller at Rainforest Alberta. Please introduce yourself in the chat. I apologize for the technical difficulties. Thank you to Al and Tony for helping me out here. And now I'm going to pass it on to our amazing speaker for the hour, Margo Purcell of InceptionU.
Amber. All right. What we know about creativity is that constraint generates creativity as long as it's not so much of a constraint that it breaks you. So we've got some time constraint today, which is going to hopefully generate some really great creativity. I have my amazing collaborator, Jen Morrison, is online with those of you who are online, so you can participate in this activity virtually. And I'll be guiding the activity overall, as well as the activity for those of you who are here in person. So, co-founder and CEO of InceptionU, we're really excited about being part of this ecosystem. And Amber pointed to culture, and culture being the most heavily weighted and the most impactful part of an ecosystem. We are all part of the ecosystem, which means we all are responsible and have the ability to shape what this ecosystem is. And that's what we're going to dig into today, is we're going to look at, well, what are the behaviors that will actually generate and lead to the ecosystem and how we want to be as an ecosystem and be in the ecosystem. We hear a lot about culture, and you can have all the declared culture you want in the world. The culture you have are the behaviors that we tolerate. So let's actually start capturing what are those behaviors we want to encourage, we want to amplify, we want to get out even further and cultivate and nurture. And what are some of those behaviors that we're recognizing that perhaps it's time for us to let those go? Perhaps it's also that we have sensors, and we each have the ability to be sensors in this ecosystem, that we are sensors in the ecosystem to actually course correct the behaviors that are leading us away from how we want to be as an ecosystem and encourage the ones that are leading us towards how we want to be as an ecosystem. So that's our task today. I'm going to again give you some time pressure and see what kind of creativity it helps generate. Jen is going to guide all of you online. So this is the first part. I want you to imagine it's 5 years in the future. This is the most amazing ecosystem and community you have ever been part of. You're talking to a friend and they're asking like, why Calgary? Why are you there? And they're thinking, well, maybe I'd be interested in it. What would draw me to be part of that ecosystem? What words are you using to describe this unbelievable, amazing ecosystem and community? You know, is it collaborative? Is it creative? Is it supportive? Is it energizing? So for those of you who are online, you are going to put one descriptive word per sticky. For those of you who are in the room, there are stickies all over the room and Sharpies. So it starts as an individual exercise. Let's give everyone the opportunity to do that thinking internally and on your own. There will be time for talking it out. Some of us do our best thinking inside with our inside voice. Other people do their best thinking outside. We're going to create opportunities for both. It starts as an individual exercise. 5 years in the future, this is the most unbelievable ecosystem and community you've ever been part of. What words are you using to describe it to your friend and tell them what it's like to be in this ecosystem? Any questions before I give you 2 minutes for this? Abby. 1 word per sticky. Yes, thank you. 1 word per sticky for those of you online as well. And you've got the mural to be able to do that. So, and Jen, are you able to give guidance on the mural? Yep.
All right. Hi, everyone. I still can't really run with my broken leg. So I'm going to put a link in the chat to the mural. Something that's really important. Please don't put giant stickies. Like, you don't have to make them super big. The mural is really big itself. So what you want to do is zoom in quite a bit. Where you're going to start is the top left-hand side. So as Margo said, Amber, can you just click enter on the chat on my computer? So the mural link should be coming up. And what I want you to do is put 1 word per sticky. So I've put a few examples in there for you to see. So everybody, I think you're going to give 2 minutes, Margo. Yeah. And so on the left-hand side of mural, you can put your name in there if you want. On the left-hand side of the mural, once I think Al is typing in there, I'll have you enter. Great. So you'll see there's like, it looks like a little sticky on the very top left-hand side under the mural icon. Click on that and it'll give you a sticky option. Okay. All right. So the very, very top left-hand side, you should get a sticky and start adding those in. So we're focusing on the top left-hand side of the mural.
Time. Hold on, starts now. 2 minutes. System like, so it's 1 word per sticky: supportive, energizing, creative. How do you want to be describing this ecosystem to others 5 years from now? It's the most amazing community and ecosystem you've ever been part of. Fifteen seconds. hanging on to them for now. I'm going to tell you what to do with them in a moment. Thank you. Okay, so for those of you online, Jen's going to give you your guidance in just a moment. For those of you in the room, what I'd like you to do is you're going to bring up your stickies onto the wall to the left-hand side of what's being projected, and you're just going to start putting them up. As you're putting them up, if you see someone's put up a word that's the same or similar, put them near each other. We're going to start grouping them.
Okay, and to everybody online, can I get Al or Amber? You're going to create 3 breakout rooms. Okay, so to all of you online, don't open the breakout rooms just yet. What you're going to do when you're in your breakout room is you're going to look at your options that you see in that top left-hand corner, right? That's the big brainstorm. From there, as a collective in your breakout room, you're going to choose 3. Your top 3. And what I want you to do in your breakout rooms is you're going to scroll over. So who's sharing their screen? Is it Al or Amber? You're going to scroll over to the right just a little bit. Okay, thank you. And you're going to see breakout 1, 2, and 3. So as a group in the breakout room, I want you to put the top 3 that you want to see in 5 years. Okay. So how long in the breakout rooms? Like, let's give them like 6. Yeah, we're going to give you 6 minutes. Okay. Great. So Amber, you can open up the breakout rooms. We'll see you in a few.
How you doing, Sean?
3 minutes. One minute. Okay, and we'll wait for the breakout room folks to come back. Okay, no worries. If you put abundant, remember it won't only apply to money. Yep. It's true. Yep. Yep. Appreciate that. Ah, interesting. Oh, funny, they did prosperous too. Yeah. Yeah. Excellent. All right, here come the breakout rooms for the online folks. Yeah. Yeah, I think we've got everyone back. Welcome back online folks. So this is your next task. Each breakout room and the group here have come up with 3 words you want to be able to use to describe the ecosystem. 5 years from now, it's the most amazing community you've ever been part of, the most amazing ecosystem. Now what we need to do, as I mentioned earlier, we could have this as declared things up on the wall. And yet, if we don't understand what behaviors demonstrate this and foster and build this, and which ones actually erode it and go counter to it, there is a risk that we have them as wonderful things on a wall. That's not the experience any of us are having. So what we want to do is capture the behaviors. And so when you're doing this, what you're going to do is for each of these items, and Jen, for the online folks, Jen's going to lead you in a moment for what are the logistics for doing this. What you're going to do is and is not. So for each of the descriptors, let's say for one of the ones that we have here, dynamic. For those of you who are in the room here, I have flip charts all the way around. So what you do is you put one of the descriptors at the top, and then you're going to work together and you're going to capture what behaviors demonstrate that the ecosystem is dynamic. And you're going to capture and what behaviors demonstrate that the ecosystem is not dynamic. So these could be things that you've experienced yourself. These could be things you've heard about from someone else. You know, again, those behaviors that we want to foster and encourage and amplify, and those behaviors we want to be sensors for to recognize it and course correct. One of the things that we want to do is we also want to operate from the one assumption I like to operate from is that everyone is operating with positive intent. And then even when we see behaviors that maybe aren't as adaptive as we'd like, we approach it, intent was positive, perhaps execution was a little off, and we're collectively course correcting even our own behaviors. Be as specific as you can about the behaviors without naming and shaming anybody. We want to be specific. So for example, let's say, and I don't know if collaborative is up here, but let's say collaborative was up there. So collaborative is sharing ideas and asking for input. Collaborative is not hoarding information and having exclusive groupings of the special few who get to be involved. Okay. Supportive is pointing out to someone the strengths they bring. Supportive is not gossiping about someone else behind their back, right? So we want to capture behaviors. What are you seeing? What are you saying? What are you hearing when we are living these traits and when we are not living these traits, okay? So Jen, you're going to guide them in the breakout rooms in a moment. For those of you here, the first task is right at the top of a flip chart, one of the descriptors you've picked. And then you are going to work your way around. You will read what people have on one. And then at the timing, so I want probably about a maximum about 3 people per flip chart. Fill in each side of the column. When you're done, I'll give you time and then you'll move. And we're going to move counterclockwise because most of the flip charts are here. And if you finish one flip chart and you need another one, there's lots of extra ones hanging around that you can add a second flip chart for the same trait. So we want 1 flip chart per trait to start. When you move to the next one, you're going to read what the people have had put on there, and you're going to add to it. Okay? Any questions on that for those of you in the room before Jen guides the online folks? Jen. So the columns are separating the behaviors that demonstrate this and the behaviors that demonstrate counter to what we say we're working towards being. Okay. And I'll be here and I'll walk around for those of you here. I'll walk around to help out with that as well. Okay, Jen.
Thanks, Margo. Amber, I'm changing my mind. Can we actually create 7 breakout rooms? Okay, so we're going to mix you up. What you can see on your screen right now is exactly what the people here are doing, but you're going to be doing this on the mural. And in your breakout rooms, you can choose where you want to start. If you see some people hovering over one particular section, maybe go to a different descriptive word. So what you're seeing on your screen right now, these are some of the words that came from the first breakout room. What was interesting is every single breakout room put inclusive as one of their words. And remember, we're thinking 5 years ahead. So in the context of this one, so inclusive is, what are the behaviors we want to be seeing in 5 years? What are the behaviors, as Margo said, that we don't want to be seeing. So in your breakout rooms, you can choose which descriptor you want to start with. Just Al, what we're going to do is go through them. So just so everybody knows, the online group, inclusive was one category, leading edge, supportive, and then Al, you can kind of scroll down into the left. Yeah, and then there are 4 more: prosperous, empowering, encouraging, and limitless. Okay, so using the stickies, add in the behaviors that you want to see for those categories 5 years ahead. And you can start where you want. We'll give you the opportunity to do that. Okay, so Amber, you can open up the breakout rooms. Margo, how long are we giving them? I do feel a decent amount of time. Yeah, we'll give you 12 minutes. And ideally we have, you know, behavior descriptions in each of them. But if your breakout room only gets through 3 of them, that's okay, right? All right, so have fun. We'll see you in 12 minutes.
Hey, Marty, are you having trouble joining a room, Marty?
Oh, she's right behind me, isn't she?
Okay, I moved you to another room.
Wasn't very inclusive of me being alone.
Okay, I'm moving you to another room.
Okay.
See if you can join that one.
That would be, you just turn it down.
starts to the left. And those of you at the very end, you're going to come over here. And switch. For those of you in the room here, go to the one flip chart section you have not been to. So those of you way at the end are going to come up by me, and everyone else will shift one to the left.
Yeah, I'll give them.
You've got 90 seconds, folks. All right, everyone. So we're going to bring the breakout rooms back shortly here. They'll be with us in a minute. And what I want you to do while we wait for the breakout rooms to come back is just kind of take stock. Any kinds of themes that you're seeing, anything captivate you through this process, any new insight that you gained from interacting with these descriptors and with each other. Okay. So when the breakout rooms come back, we're going to have them contribute and participate in that as well. So start thinking about, again, any insights, anything new come up for you, anything that you, perhaps a different perspective or understanding from seeing these descriptors and identifying behaviors that indicate we're doing them and we're living it, and capturing behaviors that indicate if we see this or we're behaving in this way, we're actually pulling ourselves away from what we've declared we want to be. You should be back. Here they come. All right, and Jen, I'll have you speak to that, and then we're going to have microphone.
Great. So welcome back to all of you that were in the breakout rooms. And, you know, it's always interesting with this hybrid model. It sounds like it's easy to do, but it's a challenge because virtual delivery and time that's needed online is different than the time that's needed in person. So thank you for just diving in as best as you could. What I wanted to do is just open up the floor, and Margo's already given the instructions to the folks that are here. But if you heard an interesting idea, a thought that made you curious, or something that you would like to share if you were in the breakout rooms, what you can do is raise your hand in Zoom, and Amber will unmute you, and we'll be able to hear you on the speakers on this side. So just want to open up the floor to any interesting insights that you gathered or gained from being in those conversations.
Yeah, hi. I thought it was interesting how, even though for us here in person, we had one of the words that was community, community was a theme across all of them, as was sharing of resources and ideas. Yeah, so here in person, the three words we chose is community, abundance / prosperity, and dynamic. And I found that community was just a common theme among all three of those.
Anyone online, any interesting thoughts or insights? Would love to hear from you. Martin, go ahead. You can unmute. Thanks.
Hey, yeah, Marty Kennett here. So we were talking about encouraging, and we came across one item that was really important. We tend to rah, and we like to cheerlead when people have got ideas, but I think that the danger of that is then, you know, you're not really helping. You're helping in a way, but one of the things that we came up with was the fact that you have to lead the person to be critical about the idea, or get them to think critically about the idea. So it may be a great idea, but, you know, what have you thought? Have you thought about what happens? You know, have you thought about this contingency or that contingency? So it's rather than just going, way to go, what a fantastic idea, this is awesome, yeah, it's awesome. It's not really helping. It's got to be done in a way that's constructive and actually helps the person. So that was a takeaway for me anyway.
Thank you. Anyone else online or here? Any insights, any new perspectives you gained from doing this activity with some of your fellow ecosystem members?
Yeah, I just thought it was a really fun, interesting activity. What are you going to do with it now?
Well, that'll be collaboration between InceptionU and Rainforest. And as we've shared with, and Rainforest has been sharing as well, is that this is about ongoing engagement activities. So there will be some to come out. You've been informing that with this. So we need a bit of time to digest and then figure out what is that next opportunity to engage with this material that's going to be meaningful and impactful and incorporates and includes a whole wide variety of people from the ecosystem. So thank you for that. More to come. Jen's going to add.
Just an observation too. I mean, I was thinking about this as I was filling out the scorecard, but this last question got me thinking about it as well. It was, well, what are you going to do? And so what I'm going to challenge everybody that is here in person and online to look at what you've contributed and ask yourself, what am I going to do today? What am I going to do tomorrow? Because the ecosystem is not somebody else's responsibility. So just, you know, just a thought, you know, really take some stock here and think up to yourself, what is an idea that I saw today that I actually need to put into practice? So just wanted to throw that out there.
Anyone else? Alrighty. So as Jen said, this is collective action. So something you can do immediately is watch your own behaviors and watch the ones that you're living this and guiding the ecosystem and contributing to the ecosystem, moving in the direction of how we want to be. And with compassion for yourself and for others, recognizing, especially for yourself, the one person you have the most influence over is you. So when you catch yourself conducting yourself in a way that's taking you away, and as a member of the ecosystem does have an effect on the ecosystem, away from how we've identified we want to be, then course correcting yourself. And again, with compassion, with understanding that we are all human beings, and that when we're overextended, which means pressure, stress, and all the other things that come with being part of the human race, that sometimes our conduct and our behaviors are not our own ideal. And so how do I course correct myself when I'm conducting myself in a way that's not what I'm striving to be, and that can help pull the ecosystem in a direction that we want to go? And with that, I think I'll pass back to Amber. Thanks, everybody, and watch for a future session to further engage with this kind of thing.
Thank you so much, Margo and Jen. That was absolutely amazing. I almost teared up. Like that was so much fun, and I love being in this environment and energy. And thank you everyone for participating online and in person. Thank you to InceptionU for having us, and thank you for Al and Tony I knew that. I was having a for running the tech, and yeah, thank you so much. We are gonna do community announcements. I threw some links in the chat. Just sign the social contract to join Inkly, to subscribe to the podcast, and if you want to be a guest or host, we would love to have you on there. We're also looking for podcast sponsors, so please reach out to Al. And are there any other announcements online or in person? Cohort 10.
We're in the final stages, folks. If you know of anyone who is interested in applying for and being part of cohort 10 with InceptionU, it starts February 13th. We are going to be closing off applications February 6th. So get going. Appreciate the support.
David, feel free to unmute.
Good job today. I think the hybrid meetings are coming together.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Okay. Oh, okay, cool. All right. Well, I guess we'll wrap it up. Thank you so much again to Margo and Jen and InceptionU for having us. We really appreciate it. It was a lot of fun. And thank you to everyone online. We will see you next week.
Yay. Bye, everyone.